Dame Dash's big mouth just ruined everything. What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, I told Dame Dash that Breakfast Club interview of him trying to floss like he's a boss was a real problem. I said my ears would perk up if I was the government or the creditors that he owes over $25 million to. When he went on that Breakfast Club and he tried to front and stunt and strut around like a peacock in front of DJ Envy, Charlamagne, Jess Hilarious, and Lauren LaRosa, and he tried to tell him he had this, that, and the third. He started talking about his house with the waterfront view. DJ Envy, where's your house? This, that, and the third. Now, I said, if it was me, I would be quiet because you're not supposed to have anything, Mr. Dash. Remember what you told the courts when you filed for bankruptcy? What was it? That he only had like $4,000 or $5,000 in cash left to his name. He basically was saying he had nothing. We all know he's hiding assets and looking for this, that, and the third to be put away for his future so they can't come and take it. He's putting it in the family office name, right? And his wife's name and his Uncle Gary and whoever else he putting it in their name. But they're not stupid, Dame. But one thing you had at your disposal that you had against them was they didn't know everything. Well, you went on that Breakfast Club and you told them a lot, and I'm gonna read about it in this article. You started mentioning this, that, and the third, which they start looking at like, this sounds like assets. This sounds like he got things that he's not disclosing. Oh, he got a new book deal. Oh yeah, what's the name of the book? Because that's a business that we need to look into as well. He claimed to be that he had a publishing agreement and he was going to be the chairman of Revolt. He was going to buy Revolt. Whole lot of big money talk, right? Well, Dame's big money talk got him in a lot of trouble because the lawyer that's out to get him for some of that big money that he keeps talking about that he got, because he's a big bone, big brolic boss, right? Well, this guy wants some of that money because he's like, yeah, we've been trying to run your ass down and catch you for quite some time, and you be playing a lot of games. So what we're seeing is a grown man who is obsessed with this image, right? Took his damn sneaker off to show that it was clean. What kind of fool shit is this, right? Charlamagne said, that's why your Air Force Ones is dirty. He looked down, they ain't dirty. Like a damn squirrel, like they just like a squirrel ran through the room and just distracting him. I'm like, gang, why are you this shallow that you're worrying about if your Air Force Ones got a scuff? You're up here, you're supposed to be interviewing. Why are you standing? Like, who does that, right? Who gets up out of their seat? Unless you leaving, right? Birdman or something, all three of y'all. Like, unless you him, just sit down. You did the worst interview I've ever seen talking about, don't cut me off, it's a trigger. Well, it's a trigger when you go in there calling these guys every name in the book. Talking about they ain't really worth nothing because they not bosses and they sit in this, would you call it a coffin? Like, you said this looked like a coffin in here. You said their office was dirty. You called Charlamagne a girl. You told him, clean it up around here. You were very disrespectful in that interview, but you was like, please don't cut me off because it's a trigger. Didn't want to talk for 3 minutes with no pushback or interruption. Yeah, that don't work. That's not how this works. So they went on that Breakfast Club interview, which at the end of the day, everyone had to know it was a bad idea for Dame to go back on there. It was a good idea for them because they got major numbers, major pub. They ran that story for a week, maybe two. They kept coming back with different stories spun off of that. So they ate really well. They moved the zeitgeist. They moved the needle like they wanted to. That's why Charlamagne had him on there. He cracked a bunch of jokes on him, but he really didn't give him no pushback about his real situation. Well, his real situation is still here. And the people that really are after him for a lot of money, well, they're still around, believe it or not. And they watched that interview just like me and you did, right? I couldn't stomach most of it, but they watched it and they got to the good part. And I want to read this because Dame has just talked himself into a real problem. He's about to lose more than he already lost. He already took the streaming service. They already took the movie studio. Now they're talking about taking everything else that he got because he owes. I don't know if y'all know, Dame really owes people. Gang, like Dame talking this big bone, big brolic shit. He out there with his shirt off. He's talking to who's that little Little Supreme, right? He's talking to him, talking about, he said, we're about to do the Supreme Team documentary, the Supreme Team TV series. Remember that? He was out there with Lil Supreme, Supreme's son, right? And he had just got off the FaceTime with Prince, and they locked up. They were going to do he's snatching the whole Supreme Team thing, and they're going to run with it, right? He's from Harlem, but he's going to do the story of the biggest dealers in Queens, right? This is what Dame Dash is up to next. And he's on the dock. He got the wind blowing through his hair. He got his bucket hat on. He's ready. He's just hitting pause button 14, 15 times. And he's all set. He's ready to go. Well, at the end of the day, the whole lawyer is probably like, the lawyer's going to court with a pause. He like, pause on all that because we need to get some of that. I want to have this conversation. Dame don't know how to keep his mouth shut. People would actually like Dame. People would support Dame if Dame just kept his mouth shut. He doesn't understand to humble himself, you'll get more things. You're trying to tell everybody how locked in and how big bone you are. You're like everybody else. You're trying to find a way to get out of all this debt you're in and pretend like you're not in any debt. People don't respect that no more, Dame. It's a different world. You ain't got to act like you got it all together, like you got all the answers, like you're more important than everybody. You don't have to do this. But this is how he feels, this 80s, 90s mentality where he got to be the most important person in the room. This is why he blows up all the deals he gets. This is why people can't work with him. And everything he got coming up now, he's going to find a way to destroy it. Let's watch it. But let me read this article so we can understand what's going on. Lawyer wants Damien Dash assets despite his bankruptcy. He cites interviews and Instagram comments. That's the other thing. He's on Instagram doing this, that, and the third. He's still talking, still trying to come back and go neck for neck with Camron, of all people, who is supposed to be, he's like supposed to be his mentor and this, that, and the third. Now he's trying to prove that he's got more than him. Like, why? Why are you going after Camron? You're trying to go after his fans and get in his fan base and show them that you're bigger, you're better. Like, it's silly, it's nonsense. But this is where we are with Dame Dash. Let me continue. Dame Dash bankruptcy filing is under fire as a lawyer demands the auction of his assets, citing interviews and social media as proof of hidden wealth. Dame Dash is once again at the center of a legal storm as attorney Christopher Brown pushes a federal judge to greenlight the auction of Dash's company assets despite his recent bankruptcy filing in Florida. See, he filed the bankruptcy so they couldn't take his stuff. But what he doesn't understand is that bankruptcy is only going to protect his personal stuff. And that's what he doesn't understand. He keeps claiming he got this, that, and the third. So in the filing, he named all the stuff that he had, this personal, this, that, and the third. I only got this, I only got that. That a little bit of shit, little stuff like everybody thought he was broke. Then he went on Breakfast Club and all these different places showing that he has way more than that. So now this guy wants it. Let me continue. Brown, representing filmmaker Josh Weber, is urging the court to move forward with the sale of Dash's entertainment holdings, including Poppington LLC, which is really all he has. I mean, that's the biggest thing in his mind because he's always talking about Poppington LLC, this, that, and the third. If they take that, it's going to be a real problem. Ain't going to be no Supreme Team, nothing going on. Let me continue. Arguing that Dash's bankruptcy petition doesn't shield him from debts tied to the defamation and other intentional wrongdoing. Brown claims Dash continues to flaunt his wealth publicly while avoiding financial accountability. That is the right perfect word. Christopher Brown got it right. The word is flaunt. When I'm showing you my house, when I'm showing you my cars, I'm showing you my Sea-Doo. I'm on the water with the Sea-Doo. I'm showing you my dock. I'm showing you the beautiful scene about a lake. I'm showing you all these things, my gold chains, all these chains I got, and all the chains ain't Rockefeller chains, right? So it's like, I'm showing you all this stuff I keep talking about, this, that, and the third. At some point, I'm flaunting, and the judge is going to see that. It's happened. I told you, it happened to 50 Cent. It happened to a lot of people. 50 Cent took a picture with all this money laying on him. After he got sued and went bankrupt, he took a picture with all this money on him. The judge called him back into the court like, yeah, let's talk about all that money, his prop money, Your Honor, right? He had to fake like that. It wasn't his money. I do this. This is my job. I have to have the appearance of wealth. That's what his job was, right? So let me continue. The dispute stems from a years-long legal feud over the film Dear Frank, which Weber produced and Dame Dash was initially hired to direct. I don't know why. Weber and his company, Muddy Waters Pictures, removed Dash from the project alleging he was high on set and unprofessional. Dash later rebranded the film as The List and pitched it to networks, prompting a lawsuit for copyright infringement and defamation. So let me explain to you what just happened. Josh Weber brought Dame Dash into directing. Dame Dash has really no experience in directing. He just throws shit together and says he directed it, right? But Josh Weber thinking that he's getting Dame Dash, the CEO of the legendary Rockefeller Records, which is literally his real last claim to fame outside of Paid in Full, which probably got made correctly in spite of Dame Dash. But he brought Dame Dash in to direct the movie. Dame Dash comes in on some Dame Dash, I'm the boss shit, high, allegedly, and was unprofessional, which I 100% Dame Dash was unprofessional. You don't even need nobody to tell you Dame Dash is unprofessional. If you just watch Dame Dash last 10 years of Instagram and his YouTube videos, where they got a lot of videos of Dame Dash just being very obnoxious, and just when he explains how these things go down, he's always wrong, but in his mind he's right. And that's the thing. I believe this guy. I believe that Dame Dash came in as a knucklehead and ruined the whole thing. But then he took the movie that this guy brought him in to direct, took the movie, because he's the director, so he got to have a script, took the script, changed the name, and tried to resell the script. Process what I'm telling you. It's not his script. He tried to resell somebody else's script. He got caught, and the guy sued him for copyright infringement and defamation, because what happened was Dame went on another program and started talking junk about the guy. We're going to get to that in a minute. A jury sided with Weber and awarded over $800,000 in damages for a movie that never came out. Dame owes this guy $800,000, almost $1 million. Let me continue. Brown then sought to seize Dash's business interests, including Poppington LLC, and placed them under the control of the U.S. Marshal for public sale. They're doing a very good job of explaining this, because this has been around for years and has never been explained clearly and concisely what Dash owes this guy $800,000 for, right? But let me continue. The conflict escalated in March 2024 when Dash appeared on the Earn Your Leisure podcast and accused Weber of stealing the film. According to legal filings, Dash remarks cost Weber a $4 million film deal. Weber filed a defamation suit and won $4 million judgment after Dash missed court deadlines and failed to attend mediation because he thinks he's above the law. He thinks he can do what he wants. Now imagine if I go on a podcast and I say, you stole my film, right? Why would I not show up in court to defend that? You know why? Because I'm lying. That's why. Why would I not go into court and defend that I said this guy is a thief, when if I don't show up, they're going to say he's right and award him immediately because I didn't show up. Dame didn't show up. He got some cockamamie bullshit excuse, which could have got the trial pushed back if it really was real, but it wasn't real because Dame wasn't going to go to the court no matter what day it was on, right? So end of the day, Dame didn't show up to the court filing. He got hit and lost another case against another judgment for $4 million. So now he owed this guy damn near $5 million, right? So now he didn't go to mediation or nothing. So now Dame Dash got to figure out, yo, how I'm gonna duck this guy and not pay this guy $5 million. It's just like Game. Remember when Game owed that girl? We ain't gonna remember. He still owed that girl. But remember when Game had that issue with that girl? She went on his show. Whatever transpired, she said he did this, that, and the third. Game was like, bitch, you lying, you fired, da-da-da, whatever. So then what happened was he went to court. She went to court. Game didn't show up. He took it for a joke. The judge awarded her millions. Now she owns that. Now she owns Game's record label, and Game essentially works for her. And he been going years saying that bitch will never get a dime. Well, guess what? You won't either if you don't pay this chick. So that's what's going on with Dame Dash. He did the same thing. He tried to be bigger than the law, not show up, and here we are. So now Dame owes this guy, just this guy alone, $5 million. Let me continue. This is what the Breakfast Club, this is why people say, Challz, I think the Breakfast Club did a job. Charlamagne did a good job. He wasn't there to combat him. Da-da-da-da. No, he didn't do no good job. He did an awful job, but I'm going to stand on this. Charlamagne, DJ Envy was over the corner pouting. He didn't even want to have a conversation with the guy. He don't like him. They don't have cordial greetings or conversations. Envy, you know what I'm saying? Beige rage, like they say. Envy not letting it go. He don't like Dame Dash, so he's not going to really talk to him in a respectful way. So he was never going to be a good interview in the first place. Charlamagne is indifferent. He knows that Dame Dash comes up there. He's going to get mad views. He knows this is the moment of truth. He like, I'll let him come back 15 times because they get so much. Just like Umar, they're going to let him come up there again and again, right? You love to hear the story again and again. Charlamagne don't care. He only there for the digits. So Charlemagne didn't ask the pertinent question. All this stuff right here could have been asked. No, Charlemagne want to go tit for tat. Look at your shoes. That silly shit. So no, I don't think Charlemagne did a good job bringing them up there. He did an awful job, because this is stuff that we never got answers to, which he wouldn't answer, but it would at least been out there. They let him run the interview. They let him overtalk them and maintained the negativity in the room. He kept it to his level. He wasn't forced to answer any real questions. So no, Charlemagne did an awful job with Dame Dash. But let me continue. That's just a little rant. Facing mounting judgments, unpaid taxes, and child support, Damon Dash filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Florida earlier this month. And when they asked about the bankruptcy, they was asking him like they had no idea about it. They would say, what about the bankruptcy? They let him tell the story. No, you got it in black and white. What fucking happened? Why are you making it? Why are you letting him control the narrative? And that was the point. I was like, yo, you guys aren't, you're not doing a good job of this. It's right here in black and white what happened, but you let him spin it right in your face. And he spun it, and it looked like he won. But let me continue. In court documents, he claimed to have less than $5,000 in assets, including a $500 phone. A $500 phone ain't even a new iPhone. What is that, a flip phone? Like, you can't even get an iPhone for $500. So what phone we talking about? $2,500 in jewelry. What is that? What kind of jewelry for Dame Dash costs $2,500? But they let him do this in the court. This is what he told the court. This is why this lawyer, Christopher Brown, is going back, a.k.a. Chris Brown. He's going back for more because Dame went and shot his mouth off. But let me continue. And $100 in cash. So this is what Dame Dash tried to tell the court. He only got $5,000 in assets. He playing with these people, gang. Let's just be honest. He got $2,500 in jewelry, a $500 phone, and $100 in cash. This could be any random dude walking up and down the street. You're supposed to be the multi-mogul Dame Dash, and this is what he told the court, only to go in the Breakfast Club and contradict himself. However, Brown, the lawyer, argues that Dash failed to disclose key assets, including his life rights and intellectual property, which could be sold to repay creditors. Gang, y'all don't understand what he just said. So I'm sure most of you do, but I want to say this anyway. He said Dame Dash don't own his life rights. He's saying that no, he's not saying he don't own it. He's saying that he didn't disclose it. So what he's saying is we want to own Dame Dash life rights. We want to own his intellectual property, which means they could own that like Dame Dash life story. And someone like 50 Cent could come along and buy it. 50 Cent could own Dame Dash life story if Christopher Brown has his way. You got to understand what's going on. The long game, because this guy's going to sell that to the highest bidder. Who else would be the highest bidder for Dame Dash life rights? That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. And it's looking like Dame Dash is probably going to lose the story of his own life because he's still playing games. And intellectual property, things that he think of, things that he thought of, they want that too, right? All of those stuff he's coming up with, they want that too. So let me continue. Brown also pointed to Dame's public statements, including a September 25 interview on The Breakfast Club, where Dash claimed he had $5 million in the bank. Why would you say that, Dame Dash? You want to impress a whole bunch of knuckleheads that don't got nothing else going on, that want to believe that you're rich. So you want to tell everybody I got $5 million in the bank when you just told this judge you had 500, you had 5,000 in assets and $100 in cash. Now you telling us you got $5 million in the bank. Okay, Dame, show it. That's what Chris Brown is saying. A record deal with Sony Music for his Black Guns group, and a new book deal. Brown argues these statements contradict Dash's bankruptcy claims and show he still controls valuable assets through Poppington LLC. So let me say something. If he does have a record deal for that Black Guns group with Sony, it's tough to believe that a record label it would deal with Dame Dash in any capacity. I'm just going to be honest. That's Dame Dash saying that. But let's just say they took a chance on Dame Dash. First of all, he's not going to accept the record. He's not going to accept the standard record deal contract. You know that. This is Dame Dash. And I don't know if that group is that popping where that record label's going to jump through hoops and listen to Dame Dash mouthing off every fucking day. I don't think that's real either. But at the end of the day, let's say Sony Music, for some wacky ass reason, actually gives Dame Dash a record deal of all things. This is Dame Dash bragging about a record deal, gang. Let's just put that in perspective. But let's just let's just roll with it, right? Dame, that he give Dame Dash a record deal for his Black Guns music group, that would only be to put it out and see what it does. They would probably do almost no pushing of that. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. I don't see them putting a big bag into Dame Dash's rock group. How far is this gonna go? Old ass Dame Dash trying to be in a rock group. Where's that? Who's buying that? Like, come on, gang. Let's just be honest. They probably can tour. That's about it. I don't see no whole lot of records being sold from Dame Dash's rock group. Let's just be honest. Let me continue. No disrespect to the people in that band. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're great. This ain't about you. This is about Dame Dash. Okay? Let me continue. Brown argues these statements contradict Dash's bankruptcy claims and show he still controls valuable assets through Poppington LLC. And anything he got in under Poppington, right, they're going to come and snatch it up. Scratch. Quote, the bankruptcy filing only covers his personal property, Brown stated in court documents. It does not impact the assets of Poppington LLC, which remains subject to auction. Brown also noted that Dash has not filed any adversarial motion to stop the auction, and that delays have been caused by Dash's own legal tactics. So Dame Dash playing a lot of games. He's moving shit around so he playing a shell game with him. See, you can catch me if you can, and it's working to a degree. But sooner or later they're gonna stop the carousel, and he's gonna have to get off. Federal Judge Robert Layberger is now weighing whether to allow the asset sale to proceed. If approved, Poppington LLC's catalog, including films like Honor Up, Gary Lou's Honor Up, the one thing that he's so proud of, and Too Honorable, could be sold off to satisfy Dame's Dash debt. So you're going to lose the movies, gang. Listen, I need you to understand. Dame Dash has been playing a lot of games, but as the years go on, the games run out. This guy's about to take that Poppington LLC. All that stuff he wants on that streaming platform, he's saying going to be on American New, right? We're going to put the Supreme Team new movie, the documentary, and the series. They're both going to be on American New. And he goes, and if Revolt plays right, they might end up on Revolt. If Revolt acts right? He's still trying to dictate what Revolt will and will not do, right? But according to him, it's going to be on American New. But according to this guy, anything on Poppington LLC, it's going to be American O because we're going to own it. All right, let me continue. Dash's bankruptcy filing lists more than $25 million in liabilities, including over $8.7 million owed to the IRS and New York State. Remember, he only got $1 million for that sale of that Rockefeller, so it's a drop in the bucket. Nearly $650,000 in unpaid child support and spousal support. Now, remember on the Breakfast Club, he told them, I pay $250,000 a year in child support. Right? That's only 3 months. No, gang. This thing says $650,000. That's a couple. 2 years is $500,000. So you're going on 3 years of back pay of child support. Once every month, that's money you're missing. So it ain't no 3 months, gang. It's 3 years. So yeah, you owe whatever you got going on. You still owe that too. All right. And more than $5.5 million in unsecured claims from lawsuits and legal fees. That's a lot of money. I don't know how a person of Dame Dash stature who could have just laid low builds up this kind of liabilities and nonsense. And most of this is his own fault, overspending. Camron already told you Dame Dash is bad with money. Dame Dash has houses all over the place, and he wants to have the appearance of wealth. That's when you're at your worst, when you can't just be who you are. Have a condo in Manhattan. Have one. No, he got houses all over the place. He's still trying to show us he's wealthy. That's the worst kind of individual in a situation like this because you're going to run up more debt trying to prove that. Then you get into scams and things of that nature, like that black lady that gave him that big bag of money and he cut her out. She was trying to she had a book. I think she's trying to do some kind of movie with him, and he took the money and never got back with the lady, and she sued him and she won. But this is what the Dame Dash stands. They never activates in their brain that Dame Dash runs scams on people. That's why a lot of people are trying to get money out of him. But and Breakfast Club did not. I can't say it enough, man. Breakfast Club is a shell of itself. It's supposed to be better than that. But they're not doing hard-hitting interviews. They only care about the traffic coming into this, in and out of the site, and eyeballs. They don't care about trying to really interview somebody. So it is what it is. Let me continue. In 2024, Dash's 1/3 stake in Rockefeller Records was auctioned for roughly $1 million to cover back taxes and support payments. The bankruptcy filing aims to wipe out unsecured debt and stop ongoing collections, but creditors argue Dash is hiding assets that could be liquidated. So the bankruptcy is not going to protect him like he thinks. Plus, by the fact that he's hiding stuff, they still got a right to come and chase you down. The court has already ordered the sale of Dash's film studio and streaming platforms. they already going to sell that. He's losing that. So all this stuff he's talking about bringing to these different channels, this, that, and the third, I don't know how he's going to bring it, because they took the film studio, they made him sell it, and they made him sell the streaming platform. I know he's probably thinking that he's going to get these deals on the table, and somebody's going to come in with a giant bag and pay for the Supreme team, these Hulu, somebody going to come and pay for it. Then he's going to pay his creditors. He's trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and it is what it is. Dame Dash, the gig is up, and you're going to have to start telling people, listen, I really don't got what I think I got, what you think I got. I'm just a normal human being. I'm just trying to make it. You're gonna have to humble yourself. I've been saying humble yourself in the last 5 videos. You still ain't doing it. You're still trying to be Duskin, Poppington, or whoever the hell that is. But at the end of the day, man, drop the act, man. Just be a regular guy. Just do good business. And that's all I'm gonna say about that, man. Listen, CLBMG, man. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Every Wednesday night, we go live on The What Show. Tap in me, TJ, and Fliz. We're going to talk about stuff like this. All right, I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. I'm out. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat. Get my sheepskin. Grab my wallet. Get my pocket knife. And get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for 1 game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin, with the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin, and then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.